The 97-day rule is gone. I'm coming for council's money now.
On the 23rd of October 2025, something earth-shattering happened in the Johannesburg legal circles. Disgruntled advocates practicing law in Johannesburg, South Africa's largest and richest city, took down the hated 97-day payment rule, which was only enforced in their bar. Members of the Johannesburg Society of Advocates, JSA, also known as the Joburg Bar, unanimously voted for a resolution to amend the 97-day rule. This effectively brought to an end a 10-year battle to abolish a rule that was blamed for impoverishing and bankrupting hundreds of advocates. The resolution was tabled by the Johannesburg Chapter of Advocates for Transformation, AFT, a lobby group championing the interests of previously marginalized advocates, mostly black and women advocates. AFT is chaired by advocate Tembeka Ncukaitobi, a well-known legal eagle that wields huge influence in South Africa. A 14-page document from AFT that explains the lobby group's motivation for wanting the 97-day rule abolished gives a perfect explanation of what the 97-day rule is. The AFT says in the document, the 97-day rule is the practice of affording attorneys 90 days plus 7 days within which to pay counsel's fees. This practice is the product of an agreement between members of the JSA and the attorneys' firms in Johannesburg. Attorneys agreed that they are liable for payment of counsel's fees, but in return for assuming this liability, they are allowed 97 days to settle counsel's account. The AFT tabled a resolution that proposed that counsel's fees must be paid within 30 days after submission of an invoice instead of 97 days. The AFT resolution further states, attorneys must raise any fee disputes within 7 days of invoicing, failing which the invoice shall be deemed accepted. Any fee not paid within 30 days shall be deemed a final debt. Interestingly, this rule was an anomaly in South African legal circles, only practiced in Johannesburg. Other bars are operating on shorter payment periods than the Johannesburg Bar. The Pretoria Bar, for instance, operates on a 30-day payment period. The Cape Bar operates on a 60-day payment cycle. This indicates that there was nothing preventing the Johannesburg Bar from going the same route as the Cape and Pretoria bars. Advocates who supported abolishing the 97-day payment rule argued that they incurred monthly chamber fees, bar fees, and living expenses. But their legal consulting fees were paid after 97 days and sometimes longer. This mismatch between the monthly expenses of advocates and the 97 days in which their invoices were paid created a cash flow strain. To put it bluntly, this rule financially ruined up-and-coming advocates, many of whom ended up abandoning the legal profession to seek safe refuge in alternative full-time employment. The campaign to scrap the 97-day rule gained momentum in July last year, when digital posters expressing strong opposition to the payment system started circulating on WhatsApp. One poster read, 97-day rule killing practice, and another poster with a drawing of a worried-looking human skeleton remarked, counsel waiting for payment. The fight to scrap the rule dates back to 2015, when prominent senior counsel and transformation activist Vuyani Ngalwana spoke out against the rule in the article titled, "The Bar Can No Longer Afford to Play Unsally with Transformation." In this article, published on the Advocate magazine, Ngalwana wrote that the 97-day rule and late payment of fees were responsible for the high attrition rate among black members of the General Council of the Bar of South Africa. Ngalwana was quoted as saying in the article, "The attrition rate of many black members is attributable almost exclusively to poor cash flow, which is worsened by the delay in the payment of counsel fees by attorneys." Yet the bar refuses to reconsider the oppressive 97-day rule in Johannesburg or 60-day rule in Cape Town and other constituent bars. 10 years after Ngalwana wrote the hard-hitting article, the rule finally fell.
Okay, Maria, are we ready to count those who vote for? Ladies and gentlemen, it would appear.
Number, say it. Ah,
Do we have the register? And the register will reflect 0 oppositions, will reflect 0 abstentions. And those present.
But what was the final straw that broke the back of the proverbial camel? And what led to the AFT pushing for the resolution that sunk the 97-day rule? The answer to this question lies in a survey conducted by the Johannesburg Society of Advocates in 2023. This survey was followed up by another supplementary survey in 2025. The 2023 survey found that 88% of respondents wanted the JSA to scrap the 97-day rule. About 12% of respondents wanted the JSA to keep the rule intact. The 2025 supplementary survey bolstered the first survey and provided corroboration in the 2 intervening years. Many respondents to the surveys called for the payment system to be reformed in favor of shorter payment periods. There was a clear preference for a 30-day payment cycle. The scrapping of the 97-day rule is part of a larger battle waged by black and female legal practitioners to transform South Africa's white male-dominated legal profession. The battle has been raging since the late 1990s, when senior legal practitioners such as Vuyani Ngalwana and Norman Arendse made proposals for transforming the legal sector. But lobby groups representing black legal practitioners such as Black Lawyers Association, BLA, and the Pan-African Bar Association of South Africa, PABASA, say progress is slow due to resistance to transformation. High entry barriers still keep black people out or drive them out of the legal sector. Those who remain in the profession are starved of lucrative briefs from clients and instructing attorneys. The AFT, BLA, and PABASA point to the ongoing lawsuits by top law firm Norton Rose Fulbright as proof of resistance to transformation. The law firm is challenging the implementation of the legal sector's new broad-based economic empowerment targets, known as the Legal Sector Code, or LSC. The LSC was gazetted in September 2024. The LSC's targets replaced the old generic black economic empowerment targets that failed for nearly 2 decades to transfer a significant amount of the legal sector's wealth into the hands of black legal practitioners. The bone of contention for Norton Rose Fulbright is that the new empowerment targets for black ownership and preferential procurement are unreasonable and unattainable as they exceed the targets in the old BEE generic code. In other words, the law firm prefers the industry status quo to remain. Research findings made public in 2023 by the Legal Practice Council conclusively show that blacks and females are struggling to build law firms in South Africa that can compete with large white-owned firms. This is because black lawyers have limited access to a steady flow of lucrative briefs compared with the so-called Big Five Santon law firms, Bowman's, Cliff Decker Hofmeyer, ENS Africa, Weber Winsell, and Worksmans. These big law firms get a lion's share of lucrative work from corporate clients. In addition, these big firms are accused of briefing mainly white male silks. To add insult to injury, when black legal practitioners receive instructions, they are often restricted to performing inferior peripheral work while whites enjoy specialized lucrative work. These skewed and discriminatory briefing patterns result in blacks being overrepresented in the provision of legal advice in matters involving labor, crime, matrimonial matters, and road accident fund claims. Black lawyers are underrepresented in commercial law, where mostly whites offer legal advice in areas such as banking, tax, intellectual property, corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions, asset restructuring, competition law, insolvency and business rescue, aviation, and maritime law.